In yesterday's video, we talked about the 4 states in the Union whose governors have designs on circumventing the will of their own people, intervening in the name of the greater good to install the parentheses D candidate in the next election. Now, I'm going to be doing exposés on each of these people. Today, we are going to focus on one of them, lower right, Michigan Governess, Gretchen Whitmer. Now, just as a warning, this is probably going to tweak a few people, but it's just the truth. I've said before, I was military trained human intelligence. Understanding people's psychopathy is job number one. And everybody has psychopathy. Everybody has issues. Nobody is immune, and nobody is perfect. But the issues with Gretchen Whitmer are very specific and easy to see. Unlike the other three, Gretchen Whitmer is very close to my age. She's only 1 year younger. So I can speak to the types of things that have informed her decisions. And in this video, I would like to maybe give you some solutions so that you can come to some type of a peaceful resolution with your governor, or governess, I guess. So, first of all, the first thing we need to understand is this. She has self-image issues, and she's even tweeted about it. Now, the 80s was a very nasty time for women especially. It was a very image-centric time, and she relates having been teased since she was 10 years old about her body. And let me say this, 16, 17, 18, when you're starting to become a young adult, that's something you got to deal with. But where I grew up, which, by the way, wasn't very far from where she grew up, if a 10-year-old boy said something to a girl about her physical appearance that way, that 10-year-old boy was in for a world of hurt, not only probably from the teacher that heard it or the principal, but more than likely his parents when he got home. At that age, 5th grade, is when she's talking about this. Now, I'm sorry that she didn't have parents that taught her how to dress appropriately so that she didn't maybe encourage this type of commentary, because more than a few people talked about her choice of wardrobe for this speech, which was entirely inappropriate. But why? What's her issue? What's her big thing? Well, her big thing is this. She sees herself as Florence Nightingale, in this case with the coronavirus. This is how she sees herself. She knows better than you, and she has a good and warm and wonderful heart, and she just wants to save you from yourself. So did this woman. She wanted to save England from itself. She wanted to make them faithful again, and that's why she burned as many people as she did. Queen Mary I, daughter of King Henry VIII, also known as Bloody Mary. Now, the reason I brought up this image, this is from The Tudors. It was a Showtime series, Showtime or HBO, I can't remember. But this character, Sarah Bolger, the actress that played, actually should have won an award for this, because she took a historically evil character and made her almost sympathetic. It was an amazing job, and I just wanted to give her props for that. I chose this particular image because here she's giving a speech about how she desperately wants to make England faithful again and return them to their proper Catholic ways. Her mother was the princess from Aragon. The name escapes me. Her first wife of King Henry VIII was, I'll think of it, she was from Spain, and heavily Catholic Spain. But also in the 80s, this was a big deal. This was something new. Getting that college degree was almost a cult thing. It really was. Because there were a lot of, it was starting to change. The world was changing in that time. And you were ingrained from the time that you were literally in middle school that the only and most important goal that you should ever have in your life is to get that piece of paper. Because that was your ticket. That was your I am now a good person ticket. If you didn't, you were a failure. And while no one would directly call you that, it was assumed. And this is the type of psychopathy that she's dealing with. You see, the thing about Florence Nightingale is that she said some really good things and she said some really bad things. For example, how very little can be done under the spirit of fear. That was one of the very good things that she said. Here's one of the very bad things. To be, quote unquote, in charge is certainly not only to carry out the proper measures yourself, but to see that everyone else does so too. You see, this is antithetical to living in a free society. Gretchen Whitmer sees herself as not being able to personally make herself any better than she already is. All she can do is help you be better. Let me see if I can say that again. See, she graduated college. She got her I'm a good person degree. No matter what the degree's in, it's that I'm a good person and I'm a successful person degree. So she's reached, in her own mind, the very pinnacle of her own existence. She can't make herself any better than she already is. But all of you unwashed masses that don't have college degrees or don't see the world through the lens that she does, her job now is to make you be better. And that's why she has no problem ordering you into your homes for your own good. See, this is one of the good things that Florence Nightingale said. Let us never consider ourselves finished nursing. We must be learning all of our lives. You see, Gretchen Whitmer, she's done. She knows all she needs to know. She is as good as she's going to be. And anyone else that's not up to her standard just needs someone to coax them along and bring them into the fold. And she surrounds herself with people that remind her of the professors that gave her that initial sense of validation, that initial sense of success and justification. That's where she goes. That's the only reward she needs. Once again, back to something bad Florence Nightingale said. The most important practical lesson that can be given to nurses is to teach them what to observe. What this does is it makes you look for specific things to disagree with as a governess. You see, we teach people what the important things are to get rid of. We don't teach to look at the situation as a whole. This is an argument against holistic medicine is what it is. Teach them to observe? Yes. Take out that word what, and you have a great saying here. The most important practical lesson that can be given to nurses, it's to teach them to observe. Great saying. Teach them what to observe? Bad. Because that means you only look at this, you only look at that, and you only look at this other thing. Nothing else is relevant. This is who you're dealing with. You are not dealing with her. You are dealing with her. Because this person is still stuck here, dealing with issues from way back when. And look, I'm going to say it again. We all have issues. We all carry baggage. I'm not picking on her specifically, but I am in the sense that she is now sitting in a very powerful position and has the ability to influence who may or may not be the leader of the entire country And if she feels the need to subvert the will of her people to do so, she will, for the greater good, because she sees herself as better than you. Now, they never say this. They always say, my parents or my grandparents were blue collar and they worked really hard to put me through college so that I could be a better person. See, she doesn't think you're a bad person. You're just not a good enough person. And that's where this comes in. And this was the 1980s in a nutshell. It really was. There was absolutely no value placed on any kind of blue-collar work whatsoever. That's changed a little bit now. But then, if you weren't going to go get a 4-year degree, you were a pariah. I joined the Army. Believe me, I know. You were just not quite up to snuff. Regardless of whatever your scores were, regardless of how successful you may or may not have been in your life, at that time, anyone not enrolling in a 4-year degree college was just, you can't be around those kind of people. They don't understand the future. They don't understand what is going to be required of them. This is Gretchen Whitmer. This is the psychopathy you're dealing with. She's very fragile. Now, how this can be exploited? Don't react to her in a visceral, negative way. All you're doing is confirming in her mind what she already thinks of you. Just go about your day as if her orders didn't exist. Go about your day as if her orders didn't exist. And if she throws a temper tantrum, treat it like you would a 2-year-old. Just smile and nod and, aw, that's precious. And completely disarm her. Do not give her the ability to see that she has made you mad or that she has angered you. Do not let her have the ability to affect you emotionally. Don't change your behavior because of her. Do what you need to do and ignore her just like you would the temper tantrum of a 2-year-old. Don't listen to her as if she was a person in a position of power. Don't listen to her as if she was an authority on anything. Because right now, the only thing she's an authority on is her own psychopathy, her own issues, which she is transmuting into her job right now. She's not leading for the benefit of her people. She's leading for the benefit of her perception of how she's seen leading the people. I know that seems like a lot of words, but her only goal is to look at herself in the mirror at night like Stuart Smalley and go, I am good enough and I deserve the governorship and I know that I'm right regardless. That's what she looks for. And she looks for the affirmation of those that remind her of her college professors. The people of the state of Michigan and their opinions and their well-being, secondary. All secondary to her own issues. And like I said, we all have them. Some of us mature to a point where we try to not let them drive how we conduct our adult lives, but some of us, unfortunately, you can see now, can't let it go. Any 48-year-old woman that would tweet about what happened to her when she was in 5th grade has issues that preclude her from being a good leader. Period. So, anyway, I will leave that there. Like, share, subscribe.